Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. It is, we're a couple days out. What is it? Like 2 days away from Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it's 2 days away.
Oh, it is.
Do you guys celebrate Thanksgiving? I'm just going to assume that you do.
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, nice. Any cool plans going out of town, going to cruises or this
Going
and
to
that?
work.
Nice.
I'm
On
actually-
Thanksgiving Day?
Yep.
Wow, that sucks.
Not really.
No? Okay. I'll take your word for it. But, I can't wait to just stuff my face. It's going to be awesome. But, so yeah, guys, fun episode last week. We're back on schedule this week. Cody's, I'm sure, would love to talk about some Russian philosophy and politics, but we'll save that for some other time.
We should have we should do a Russian cinema special because they make movies too. Did you know that?
Do they?
Yeah.
I know they remade 12 Angry Men, and I heard it was awesome.
Oh, I want to see it. That sounds
Which
incredible.
is the most. That's like calling your shot for.
Is
a
it
movie.
like 12 Angrier Men? Since
No, it's
in
just
Russia?
12.
Well, they're Russian. They're obviously just
12 cold and angry men.
in Russia. It's
Who
just
don't-
called 12 guys talking.
Or actually, in Russia, they make that decision. They're like, he's guilty in about 5 minutes, and then it's just 2.5. It's like 2 hours of just like drinking and bear fighting. It'd be so fun. Classic. Yeah. So, wait, what were we talking about?
Thanksgiving, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know how
Last
we got
week's
to that.
episode,
Food.
you were making fun of the fact that I almost died this week.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, we're glad that you came up through the other side, and it's so Hunger Games Part 2, you guys. I guess we said hello and goodbye to this series in about a 3-year span. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
That's the strangest. You haven't gotten the chance to miss it before it's over. Like, that's crazy.
Was it 3-year or 4-year?
Hunger Games March of 2012, and then this last one
right.
November
Okay.
15.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Wow.
wild. Talking about fast tracking.
They
Jeez.
must have shot those all in quick succession, right?
Yeah.
I know, but
They
still.
did Harry Potter the same way. It was like one after the other.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But even the cast did a bunch of stuff in between.
Yeah.
It's just
Jennifer Lawrence has done like 10
million
movies in the
movies.
last 5 years.
Yeah. Hey Mitch, what's his face? Woody Harrelson did a whole season True
He's in
Detective.
everything, though.
That's crazy. And Liam Hemsworth has been, waiting by the phone.
Because no one wants him.
I know.
His
He's
brother's
like,
the
man,
famous one. He
it's
just
over."
happens to also act.
I know. Oh, poor guy. Did you know there's a third Hemsworth? And he's like the most humble-looking dude ever.
What's he even do? What's his name?
He's probably a lumberjack.
I don't know. I think he went on SNL with them, with his older brothers one time, and it just, like, by comparison, like, I don't think Liam Hemsworth is the most beautiful person ever, but he's still pretty good looking. And this third guy is just like, hey, y'all. I mean, I'm fine, I guess. Yeah, it's very strange. Very, very strange.
Oh, he's like short.
Yeah, he's really short.
I mean, I can't talk. I'm very short as well. But look at
Same.
that guy.
Oh, did you guys see the picture of Chris Hemsworth from In the Heart of the Sea?
Yeah,
Yes, I
he's
just
skinny.
He's
saw
like
it.
lost so much weight. I mean, he still looks like better than me,
Beautiful.
but he's skinny.
Yeah.
I mean, he's no Christian Bale in that
No,
movie.
that was like drastic.
What, American Hustle?
No,
The
Oh,
Machinist?
good joke.
Yeah, thanks.
Would have
Thanks,
made
guys.
more sense if I actually liked American Hustle, but
Did anybody?
Wow, really?
I was so bored that whole
You guys
movie.
you both don't like American
I
Hustle?
really don't. I
Huh.
really don't.
Like, what about out of 10?
Like a 5, maybe a 6.
4 or
Wow.
5. It did not keep my attention.
That's like a 9 for me. I really like that
Maybe
movie.
I should watch it again and pay attention.
I thought
but
Christian Bale and Jennifer Lawrence were great,
Just,
and
I mean,
everyone
just for
else
the music.
kinda, everything. Yeah,
Honestly, hot opinion. I liked it, and it's compared to this quite a bit, but I probably like it more than Goodfellas, to be honest with you.
I've never seen that movie, but I feel like I should be mad that you just said that.
yeah.
Most people would be, so I'm thank you
I'm just
thank
gonna-
you for
I'm just
the
gonna disagree
for the
with you
leniency. But wow, some hot opinions. We were talking about this on Twitter. I compared
Yeah,
it to. You said the only reason I like that is the performances. I'm just like Birdman, brah, Birdman.
which was a
Birdman
great movie that had
is
much
an
more than just good
abomination.
performances.
Whatever. Let
Everything
me know
about
if
Birdman. Birdman is the most exquisitely shot movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, I guess you haven't seen Dodgeball.
Kidding me?
What?
Dodgeball is awesome.
It would have
No,
been
actually,
funny
I
if you
saw-
said.
I do like dodgeball.
It would
Hey,
have
guys,
been funny if
what's
you
it-
said. Then you haven't seen Quantum of Solace,
Oh my gosh.
because
No,
that is
let's-
the worst
Let's get off.
shot
let's-
movie I've ever seen in my life.
Let's hop off the Quantum of Solace hate train for a quick second. And
After my brutal rampage against Spectre, I don't think he can take anymore.
I almost saw that again, honestly. I've almost seen that. I've seen it twice, and I could have seen it 4 times, but I gave up 2 opportunities too. So I will defend that movie till I die. But no, guys, we were talking about this a little bit off air, but through kind of just random circumstances, I was able to see. I've seen like 4 new releases or something like that in the last few days. It's been wild. And one of those is Spotlight. I actually just got back from seeing that. Just in the off chance we do an episode on it, which probably is unlikely. So
I'm not
I'll
going to
give
get
my
to see
thoughts
it for
now.
a while, so.
Yeah, okay, so I'll go ahead. It's pretty great. Very not much action to it. It's very talky and plot driven and character dialogue, all that good stuff. A lot of fun. Well, maybe not a lot of fun because it's about
I hope it's
priests
not
abusing children. But
I mean, it's not fun unless you're an old person, I guess.
Or a
yeah,
pedophile.
saw the movie with a bunch of 90-year-olds. That was fun. But no, it's a really great movie. 9 out of 10 for me. I'm not sure where it's gonna land in the awards race. I'm not sure where anything really is gonna land in the awards race. But it was very, very good movie. Very good. I would definitely recommend it if you guys can check it out. So
Do my best. I really want to see that movie.
Yeah, it looks.
and then
looks great.
in an attempt to see Spotlight, I also caught the night before with a good friend of mine, and I pretty much died. It was really funny, and I gained a new appreciation, a new celebrity crush, Lizzie Kaplan.
She's
We got-
great.
Oh, she's amazing.
She's fantastic.
She was great in that movie, and just she's so pretty, and I like her.
What have I seen her in?
She's in Mean Girls. She was in.
She was gross in Mean Girls though, so not PC.
and she was in the one that got the terrorist attention. What was that movie?
Oh, the
Oh,
interview.
Interview.
Yeah, she
In
was
the
the
Interview. She was
the CIA person.
yeah.
And yeah, that's right. And she's in Masters of Sex, which is apparently a good show, but I haven't seen it. But she was awesome in the movie. She was really funny. It was just Seth Rogen, man, he's hysterical.
I love Seth
that
Rogen.
guy. But I would definitely. That's a great Christmas movie. Probably wouldn't have made my list for last week, but it would certainly be in the honorable mentions because I had a great time with it. And Michael Shannon's in it. I'm not gonna tell you any more about it, but he's in it and it's awesome.
Everyone's saying
He's
it's like
great.
one of the best sort of cameos they've seen. It sounds great.
But it's not a cameo. He's in like 5 or 6 really
I mean,
long scenes.
Like in the
It's
fact
crazy.
that I haven't seen him. He wasn't in any of the trailers or anything.
That's true. I didn't know there was a lot of people who were in that movie that I didn't know were in it.
Wow,
It
really?
was,
I'm excited.
It was quite a bit of fun.
I'm excited.
So
Is the scene in the church as funny as it is in the trailer?
funnier.
Oh,
Really?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Funnier.
I almost fell out of my chair laughing at that. Oh,
Wait,
my
so
God.
were all of the good scenes in the trailer though? That's my question.
No. Not like there's one gag that I mean, granted, I haven't searched out every single trailer, but there's one gag in the movie, one running joke that I literally died. I was when I laugh. I don't know. Maybe I've done it on the show before. When I laugh at something like really hysterically, I make this squeaking sound, like a tire being slashed, and
Okay.
I did that for about 5 minutes straight.
Wow, I bet that was super annoying for everybody
I
around
know.
you.
I'm
I didn't
sorry,
care, though.
everyone that was in the audience.
It was so funny. My friend who was with me, she was like, she kind of scooted away. I was like, you can't go anywhere. This is a full house. You're stuck. But no, definitely I'd recommend The Night Before. It's great. A lot of fun. Anyways, so what's going on in the news world today?
All right.
If anything, Josh.
I guess the biggest one we'll start with is Wonder Woman is officially go. We now have an official cast that has been somehow kept under wraps for a month and a half.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's a pretty good cast. Originally, there were rumors of Sean Bean and Nicole Kidman and someone else pretty big. But they're not in it apparently, unless that gets revealed later. But right now we got a pretty good cast. We got Chris Pine, which you already knew.
Well, like Chris Fine.
Got him.
Robin Wright, Danny Houston, David Thewlis. What's his name from Harry Potter? Professor.
Lupin.
Lupin. Yeah,
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. Who else we got? A few others. I can't really pronounce their names, but they're notable in the acting world.
Let's see. Oh my goodness. Saeed Tagmawi and Elena Anaya. And the third one's hard. Lucy Davis. Did I get that right?
Yeah, Lucy Davis.
Did I get okay?
Ewan Bremner. Right. I don't know. I don't really know about any of them, but the other ones I'm really into.
Cool.
And obviously, it's being directed by Patty Jenkins, who did Monster.
Wait, they're letting a lady direct this?
I know, it's crazy. What if it isn't good? Are they?
How can women direct movies?
I don't know.
Yeah, aren't they? How could they get through it without when they're so busy crying?
I know.
We're of course kidding, by the way. That's totally fine. That's awesome.
It's probably better.
And I'm starting to think she actually wrote the movie too, because in the press release that released, it didn't say anything about the writer that was rumored to be on it, which is Jason Fuchs or whatever his name is, who I hope is not writing it, or maybe he did a draft of it. But it seems like she's kind of rewriting his script because she also wrote Monster. So if that's the case, I'm really on board with that. So do you guys?
IMDb's got it as she's just directing, and then Fuchs is the screenplay. But those can always be changed on the go. So maybe she's getting a big hand in it.
So what do you think? What do you think about this? You getting excited for this at all, or?
You go ahead, Cody.
I'm not getting excited until I see Batman vs Superman.
Fair.
I want to see. I loved Man of Steel, so if they can do two good movies in the same universe in a row, I have hope. But who knows? Maybe it's going to be Iron Man 2.
This seems like it's going to be the Thor, I guess, of the DC universe. Just because that's the best comparison to make, I guess, because they're both like mythical lands and kind of like mythology, I guess.
Based on gods, yeah.
I mean, best case scenario, this is a really cool, fun, adventurous movie. Worst case scenario, you get to look at Gal Gadot for 2 hours, and she's just awesome. Just overall, not just that she's beautiful, which she totally is, but from what I've seen,
she's a really nice person. Yeah,
like in interviews and her Twitter and stuff, she just seems so freaking cool, and like a lot of I want her to have a career.
Like
she got a really different look to her too. It's very.
Did you see the picture that also came out with it? With
yeah.
You got Big Ben in the background. That was cool.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah. It's filming in London, France, and Italy.
Nice. Good choices.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm really
London,
excited. I'm really looking forward to this. Obviously, I'm a huge DC Comics fan, so I'm going to be excited for anything they put out.
Nice.
So, but it's about time we get a freaking Wonder Woman movie.
75 years in the making.
Yeah, 75 years.
But hey, go DC for pushing a female-driven property before Marvel does. Starts a flame war.
They do have. Well, I'll get to that. Well, they do have Jessica Jones, even though that's TV. But
anybody watch that?
I was going to talk about it later, but I haven't finished it yet, so I'll probably save it for next week.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. Gal Gadot, honestly, she's the one thing that has my reservations right now. When they cast her, I was like, okay, because my thing is, I think she can be a good Wonder Woman because I liked her in the Fast and Furious movies, but they're Fast and Furious movies.
True.
So, I mean, Vin Diesel's good in Fast and Furious. That doesn't mean he can play, Superman.
Well, did you see The Pacifier?
Oh God,
that movie is a masterpiece.
You know what? I actually kind of enjoyed The Pacifier.
I love that movie.
Same. That's a great movie.
Yeah. So I just don't know how she'll do in a leading role, because that is a huge. It's not just a leading role; it's Wonder Woman. That's a big responsibility, and it's all on her, and it's not just one movie. It's a potential franchise.
Yeah. Well, the fact that she has people like Chris Pine and Robin Wright,
that's
David Thewlis kind of to support her. I think that'll help her kind of step her game up, which is what you should do when you cast a quote unquote unknown.
Yeah.
Even though she's sort of known, but guys know what I mean.
There's two other things. I mean, you have, like I said, Patty Jenkins, who the last movie she directed got an Academy Award for Best Lead Actress. Although it was Charlize Theron, but still, director and actor work hand in hand to get that performance.
Wait, what movie did she direct?
Monster.
Oh, okay. Wow, that was the last movie she directed.
Saw that movie.
It was 2003, I believe.
Wow, she's done like 3 things.
She's done that movie, and then she's done a little bit of TV over the years. So she's kept busy, but not hugely. She was going to direct Thor 2.
Oh, okay.
But she dropped out due to creative differences.
Thankfully.
She probably
Thor 2 was garbage.
Exactly.
I still like.
She probably wanted to make a good movie.
But yeah, I'm assuming that she just wanted more freedom.
What are the odds that Patty Jenkins went to the first cast, like the first table read, saw Kat Dennings, and then walked right out?
Oh,
like,
God.
I can't do this. I'm sorry. She's the worst.
I like Kat
Dennings.
Dennings.
The worst? What do you mean she's the worst?
Kat Dennings. I can't stand her.
Oh, really?
In anything
As a
she's ever
person.
done? As a human being?
What did she do to you?
The things that she acts in, man. Like, her show, Two Broke Girls, used to come on after How I Met Your Mother back in the day.
That show.
And I just wanted to slam my head into a wall. It was she's so unfunny. She makes an effort to be that unfunny. So
She's like, I don't know. That's just like she plays that kind of unlikable. What's the word?
unlikable. You got it. That's it.
I guess
all the only description.
She's very in your face, very like
loud.
Yeah, obnoxious. But for some reason it works for me with her at least.
She's dating Josh Groban. Oh my god.
I don't know who that is.
He's that singer. He's the guy who's trying to be like Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé, some ham and bubbly.
There you go.
I don't keep up with musicians. I should do that more.
You really should.
But anyway, back to Wonder Woman. The other thing is Ben Affleck. I read an interview where he was talking about her. He's really supportive of her, of Gal Gadot. And he was saying how I'm a huge Ben Affleck fan, so at least as a director. So when he says an actor is like really bringing it, that gives me confidence. So she's my one reservation about this whole project. But if she knocks it out of the park, then I'm going to be really happy. So, all right. And then next up, we got going from DC to Marvel.
Oh boy.
We finally have an official Doctor Strange cast. It's really just one casting. Everything else has pretty much been confirmed already. But the one thing that's been actually now confirmed is Mads Mikkelsen will be starring in the movie. Can we look at this cast? This is a killer cast.
Benedict Cucumber Patch.
Cucumber Patch. That's a new one.
I can't even say his
Chiwetel
name.
Ejiofor.
Yeah, that guy.
Who deserved an Oscar win, but he didn't get it. So
Rachel McAdams. Who's Michael Stolberg? Bard.
I don't know.
Who's Mads Mikkelsen?
The one I just brought up?
Yeah, but who is he?
Le Chiffre from Casino Royale.
Okay.
Or Hannibal from Hannibal.
That's cool. That's good. And Tilda Swinton is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Michael Stuhlbarg. He was in. He played Andy Hertzfeld and Steve Jobs. Hertzfeld.
I'm trying to think.
Oh, I know who that. He was
the guy with the glasses.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The good one. Yeah, he's awesome. I love him. He's
pretty
good. A lot of fun.
This is actually a really good cast.
Oh, and he's in the next Denis Villeneuve film. That's cool. That same
Nice.
the Hertzfeld guy. Wow, that's awesome. Go him.
Scripted by this guy who wrote Prometheus and Passengers.
Ooh, wow.
What a
Yeah,
script.
Doctor Strange really looks like it's gonna be awesome. Like, I'm really excited for that one.
It sounds
so
really cool. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be something. It just sounds so different than anything Marvel's done so far.
Yeah.
It's interesting is that the director has only directed
Sinister
horror movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think that's cool. I think
Yeah.
that's
I think it's
different.
gonna add something really cool. Because just looking, did you see any of the set photos that have come out?
no.
Can't say that I have.
Because they were like shooting in Tibet, and it looks really cool.
I'll try. I'm gonna try to avoid as much as I can for this because I'm really genuinely excited. This is by far the most excited I've been for a Marvel movie.
All right. And then next up, we have some more Marvel news, but it's a bit of a less exciting bit of Marvel news. It's Fox. Fantastic Four was going to have a sequel when Fox thought this was going to be a hit. But I don't know why they thought it was going to be a hit, because the movie sucked balls. So,
True.
The sequel that was planned for 2017 is no longer happening.
Oh
Real
no!
question though, where did they spend that $120 million of the budget? Where did that
Cocaine.
go?
Probably to give some of the employees guns to kill themselves. I don't know.
Paychecks
That'd
and
be-
coke. I'm almost certain.
Kidding.
Yeah, pretty
But
much.
Just
That-
hookers and blow party
they
every day
just-
on set.
They just got trashed after it was over. Like, oh god, this is
Thank
gonna,
God,
this is
I'm
gonna
so
destroy
sorry.
everyone's career except Michael B. Jordan's.
Cody, you still
Drink
haven't
up.
seen the movie, right?
No,
Okay.
you guys are not making a good case for it.
No,
I
it's.
just
I went
really-
to.
I
Sorry,
really want to see the director's cut, but it's never going to happen.
no.
Because no one wants to say.
I want that director's cut.
Other
'cause
than you.
There were elements of that movie that I loved, but it's in a package that is garbage. So
Yeah. Like,
I wish it was
don't-
great. I wanted it to be great. It wasn't.
Even if there was a director's cut, there's not a good movie anywhere in there. I'm
see,
just convinced.
See,
'Cause
I
the-
disagree. I think there is a good movie. I don't think there's an incredible movie like there could have been.
No,
at the
not with
beginning
that.
stages.
Not with that acting. Not with that writing. Even if there was more of it, that could not save.
Because I
The
think
crap.
there were times when the acting I thought was really good, but a lot of the times, and to me it was so obvious when there were scenes that were those reshoots that were rumored, because
Yeah.
there are scenes when Kate Mare's hair isn't even the same color because she has a wig on,
Ugh.
and it just doesn't look the same. Like some shots I thought were really really good. I thought there was some really cool cinematography.
You know, what my favorite
And then-
shot was
What?
the final shot. Yeah, there you go. But also, even if everything was good before it, that last scene
Was
of
horrible.
the team, quote unquote, overlooking their giant warehouse or whatever, that would drop it down from a 10 to like a 3.
'Cause the thing
that was
is,
the worst.
That wasn't even the original ending.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
'Cause
good.
The thing is, because I mean, I don't want to go too over. There's so many things that happened. I don't even know I don't know what's true and what's not. There's so many things that happened. Apparently, either 2 or 3 action scenes were taken out of the movie because of budget 3 days before shooting started, and they completely changed the script, and they were constantly redoing things, and it was putting pressure on Josh Trank, and people were getting upset, and then they locked him out of the editing room, and all this crazy stuff went down.
And
Rumored.
the movie sucked.
So
Oh.
yeah, and it resulted in probably the worst movie I saw all year. So,
Easily. No, nothing even close.
The only-
I hope the cinematographer for that movie never works again. That was an ugly looking
well,
movie.
Damn.
he's cinematographer for Wonder Woman.
Oh God,
Wonder
really?
Woman.
Well, my thing is because to me it seemed like there were 2 cinematographers, and it also seemed like there were 2 directors, because it seemed like Josh Trank wasn't even there. I'm sure he was there, but maybe he didn't do much. But there were a lot of because when I saw the original trailer, there were some really really beautiful looking shots, and I saw there was a few of them that really seemed to make it into the movie, but then a lot of them just looked so boring and dull and generic. So I don't know, especially that scene where they go into what's it called, not the Phantom Zone, the Negative Zone. I mixed those two up. so
Oh my
often,
god.
but,
Is that an actual plot device? Are you kidding me? They
Yeah,
call
bet
it
it
the
is.
negative zone?
yeah.
Are they trying to be compared to Superman?
Well, it's from the comics.
Who cares? It doesn't make it any better.
I know. I'm just saying, but
That's even dumb.
they don't call it that in the movie. That's just what it is.
Oh, that's a stupid name.
Yeah.
Shame on you, Stanley and Jack Kirby, if you're the guys who made that up.
No, that's from the Ultimate version of the comics. I don't know who.
Shame
wrote
on
those,
you,
but
Mark Millar, if you wrote that.
Just assume it's Mark Millar.
He's one of my favorite writers. So
Oh, I love him too. But yeah. So anyway, movie's not happening. We can all applaud. Hopefully, Deadpool 2 takes its place.
Not the. I
Don't
do
you
not agree
poop
with
on
you
my
so
parade,
far.
Mason.
Sorry,
you're talking. The movie's not even out yet, and you don't like it.
that trailer made me want to hang myself.
Who
made-
are you? Are you
What
even a
are you-
human?
That
I
was
hate
the
it.
funniest trailer I've seen in a while. I thought it was
The only funny thing about that trailer was T.J. Miller.
he was great, but I thought it was so funny.
No,
and
it's
the
gonna be
action,
so good.
it
I'm so
reminded me.
excited.
It looks like Kingsman on steroids. With
Well,
Deadpool.
there you go.
It looks amazing.
I guess that
That's
makes
it.
sense.
There you go. I mean, I just don't care about Deadpool. I don't think he's that funny.
I do.
Okay, well, hey man, I've seen a couple minutes from the movie. Maybe it's awesome, but so far could not be less excited.
All right, that's fine.
It's gonna be a
Nice.
sleeper hit.
I'm also 90 years old and I don't like change.
Apparently,
I
hang out with
I'm
old
into
people
it.
all day.
True.
All right, and
Wisest people.
all right. So now we got a trailer for something that I'm probably the only one that's excited for.
You're right.
It's called Central Intelligence. It's starring the god that is The Rock and Kevin Hart, and I think it looks hysterical. And I'm gonna see it opening day, and I'm
Ooh.
gonna laugh my head off.
That's some. Those are strong words there, Josh.
I think it looks so funny.
I don't know if it looks so funny. It looks all right. Dwayne the Rock Johnson has the charisma. He could carry that movie by himself. I'm almost certain.
Mm-hmm.
There are two actors right now in Hollywood that I don't even know really what a man crush is, but if I did, these are the two people that I would have it on. One of them is Tom Cruise, who we'll get to in a minute, and the
Nice.
other one is The Rock. And I love The Rock. He's so, even in movies I don't like him that much, like San Andreas, I love him in. And then Kevin Hart. I know some people don't like Kevin Hart.
It's both of us. We don't like Kevin Hart.
Okay, you
Nobody
both don't like
likes
Kevin
Kevin
Hart. I
Hart.
love Kevin Hart.
Will he be famous and or relevant by the time this movie comes out? Because
In
he's
my-
already losing
in
a
my
lot of
heart,
steam.
He will always be famous and relevant.
Oh,
He
jeez.
just seems like a discount Chris Tucker.
Seriously.
I think
to
he's
me.
way better than Chris Tucker. I don't think
I
Chris
mean,
Tucker.
I don't
a
like
mini
either
Chris
of
Tucker.
them, so here we are.
But I mean, I'll say this. I think Kevin Hart's I think he's better in his stand up than in movies because I love his stand up. In his movies he's always good, but he just does the same shtick for the whole movie, and it gets a little repetitive. But I mean, he mixes it up more in his stand up, which is why I love him. But I think it looks funny. The end part with The Rock. And he's fat, and he's dancing in the shower.
That was the scariest fat
was
CGI
hysterical.
I've
I thought it
ever
was
seen
so
in my
funny.
life.
All right. Okay, so we got two
As
more.
long as my heart is beating, we will not talk about Central Intelligence on this show. So you're gonna have to kill me first.
Well, when I
Josh.
see it, and I will bring it up at the end of the show, whatever week that is.
Oh gosh. Yeah, what's it going up against? That's
June 17th. I don't know what
wow,
that.
that is like right in the middle of that's in the heart of the season.
Yeah, because it's gonna be big.
It's gonna be
It's
literature. It's the literature of movies. Instant classic. Let's move on.
Batman v. What? It's gonna be Central Intelligence. Is gonna break the box office next year.
Oh my goodness.
$3 billion guaranteed.
Okay.
Might
So
cry.
we got So next, we got two other stories, both of which involve the greatest.
Oh yes.
person
Hold
ever,
on.
Tom
Central
Cruise.
Intelligence is going up against Finding Dory. Suck it,
Oh,
Josh.
it's dead. It is so dead.
It's dead.
I have
We're
faith.
not talking about it.
I have faith.
have no
But
faith.
Anyway, all right. So, Mission Impossible 6. It's looking like Christopher McQuarrie, who I think wrote and directed the fifth one. Looks like he's coming back. It's not official yet, but it's looking like it's going to happen. What do you guys think?
I
Nope.
have no opinion.
I loved MI5. I think that's my second favorite spy movie the whole year, second of the 7. So
What's your
Quite fond
first,
of it.
Mason?
it's a little movie called Kingsman. JK. That movie sucks. Dude.
You suck. That was
No,
hard.
yeah, Mission Impossible 5. I really dug it, liked it a lot. Do not want him to come back.
Why not?
Why?
I really like what they do with this series of kind of the rotating door of directors, and I'm all about
That's fair.
with these kind of franchises. You bring in some fresh blood, like just I don't know, off the top of my head. Even though he wouldn't do this, Thomas Alfredson. If he were to get this a Mission Impossible movie, then he's like he can kind of write his own check for the next couple movies to do whatever he wants. So. Plus, I'd like to see something different and something new from Chris McQuarrie. So, if he comes back, that's great. I mean, I'm not gonna, be protested at all. But I would like somebody else to get a go at it. That's what franchises that don't have kind of like an over arc, like Dark Knight trilogy or
Yeah.
something like that. That's how I like these franchises. To go.
Everything's very standalone in each movie.
Well, maybe not just standalone, but just kind of mix it up a little bit. So, like
Like that's what I mean. Like each one kind of has its own flair to it.
yeah, absolutely. Just don't let's not repeat Mission Impossible 2 please.
I liked two.
Have I seen that? I haven't
liked
seen
it
that
too.
one.
That was ridiculous, though.
The motorcycle thing was awesome.
You're awesome. Wait, shit. That didn't work out okay. I was kidding.
I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah, but we got John Woo, J.J. Abrams, Brad Bird the last 3 rounds.
Yeah.
So let's get some new blood in there. That's just my opinion.
I'd be totally fine with someone else coming in.
Or better yet, scrap Ethan Hunt. Let's just get Rebecca Ferguson's character to lead the thing.
Honestly, I wouldn't be completely opposed to that.
Same. She's awesome.
She's great. I want to see her get more stuff. But Christopher McQuarrie, I really love Mission Impossible 5 is one of my favorite movies of the year. I saw it 3 times. I couldn't get enough. Especially the motorcycle chase. I was so on the edge of my seat for that, more than anything I've seen this year. Tom Cruise is the man. I will see anything he does. And I thought McQuarrie did a great job with this movie. I'm kind of either way. I mean, if they get someone else, it's sticking to what works, getting some fresh blood in every go around. That's fine. If he comes back, I'm going to be completely excited because I loved what he did with the last one, and I can't wait to see him do another one. So
yeah, maybe Josh Trank could do it.
I don't think he's ever getting work again.
Yeah, same. That's a joke. I hate him so much.
I did it.
That'd be cool.
I
mean, Tom Cruise probably directs those things anyways, so
that's the dream.
Good old Tommy Cruise. Speaking of Tom
Cruise,
bring this one home.
My favorite story, The Mummy. We're getting a reboot of The Mummy. And
the Brendan, I was confused about this. Is it the Brendan Fraser mummy or just the idea of mummies?
It's the Universal mummy.
So here's the deal. So Universal Pictures is doing they're attempting to do a shared universe of all of their monster properties. So it's Dracula, the Mummy, I think Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, a bunch of other, the Wolfman, I think. But there's a bunch of monster properties they're doing. First one coming out the gate is the Mummy. I don't know if this is based off the Brendan Fraser movie or it's just its own thing. But regardless, looking like it's going to star Tom Cruise because he's now in talks to be the lead of the movie. So I'm really excited.
Is he the Mummy?
No, it's actually, I don't know if this is happening. They said it's looking like it's going to be a female mummy, and he's the lead. He's the lead against the Mummy. I don't know.
Well, that's ridiculous, but okay, I'm down for it.
But yeah, so I'm really excited. Again, I love Tom Cruise. I'm really excited for this universe. I want to see how it turns out because we're seeing all the superhero getting their universes. Sony tried and failed with theirs. Marvel's killing it with theirs. DC's looking like they're about to do a really good job with theirs. So I want to see something else shared universe. Star Wars is also kind of doing that. So I want to see this is going to be kind of like a horror shared universe, and I think that's a really cool idea.
I mean,
so
I have no idea what's going on with this, but at this point I trust Tom Cruise's judgment, so
yeah,
I'm on board.
Tom Cruise, this is what I've noticed. He takes really good roles. I can't remember the last maybe not the last bad movie, but bad role I've seen him in.
I can't even think of.
Well, as far as the character goes, or just not a good. Oh, he played kind of a coward in Edge of Tomorrow.
No,
that
but
didn't put him in
I
the
think
best
that was
light.
The point about that is he overcame that at
character.
the end of the movie.
Yeah,
there was some great character development in that movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That movie's wonderful. I want to watch that.
He's got. If anybody understands the movie business, it's Tom Cruise. When it's all said and done, he'll probably be the biggest and best movie star of all time.
He's already that.
It's already that.
Well, I mean, no, I'm just saying there's still time for him to lose his way, but so far he's making if he quit today, he'd be the best of all time. But
I wanted to see him play Joker.
What?
Yeah,
Too short to play the Joker.
Oh, don't be that guy.
He is. He's too short to play the Joker. He would look ridiculous up against a 6-foot Batman.
They did it with. They made Tom Hardy look 7 feet tall. They can do it with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is 5'7", so just imagine me as the Joker.
Yeah, me too. It's not good.
They can do it. But yeah, he was my fan cast as the Joker because I think he'd be incredible. But that's not happening. But maybe when they do an old Batman movie in like 20 years, when they reboot everything again.
Well, I'd rather see him than Jared Leto. So,
hey,
I saw him at an award show last night, and
We all
not
watched
last night,
that.
a couple nights before. He's just the worst.
He's not the worst.
I would
but
never want to hang out with Jared Leto ever.
He sure knew how to bring the mood down.
Yeah, really.
I mean,
Hey
I
guys,
understand that
let's
that's
talk about
significant,
people
but
dying. Yeah.
It's a night of fun. That's kind of not.
Yeah.
and then there's one other thing. I don't know if you guys saw it. I just wanted to bring it up because it's not really a news or anything. It's just there was did you guys see Jimmy Kimmel last night?
I did. I watched
did not
that.
watch
The Harrison Ford Chewbacca thing.
That was great. Harrison Ford seems like he's kind of turned a page, and I was just like, all right,
He's like, I'll
Screw
be
it.
on. I like it.
this is what I am to every like just to the world. Let's just
He seems
embrace it. Give it a big
happier
hug.
now than he's been in a really long time.
Yeah.
I'm so happy, and just that whole skit was that I was laughing a lot. That was great.
And Daisy Ridley. Well,
She
seems so fun.
she's a cutie pie.
She is. She's ultimate girl next door.
Except she's English, so she can't really be my girl next door.
Well, never say never.
Because I live in America.
British people can
Where we
live
can
here.
open carry and nobody's can do anything about it.
You know what happened last time some British people tried to live here?
What happened?
I was going to say the American Revolution, but British people have lived here. Let's continue.
All right, that's all I got for news.
Cool. Well, guys, since let's break it down. Let's move on and talk about the final installment of the Hunger Games trilogy, kind of. Real quick before we get started, I just want to tell a quick story. For those who don't know, Cody and I went to the same high school. Go to Homer Central High School, so this may be a little confusing for everybody else, but I encourage you to go on Google Maps. At our high school, there's a big football field, kind of right beneath the high school, and it's pretty much in the middle of a village. So from that football field, you can look across the street and see a bunch of houses. Like typical American neighborhood right next to each other. And towards the end of my high school career, so like 2012, 13 or so, I had gym class very late in the day, 7th and 8th period, so like 2 o'clock. And there were these kids across the street. And every day that it was nice out, these 4 or 5 kids would play Hunger Games. And what this meant is that they all went outside in a small lawn, I should note, and they said 1, 2, 3 Hunger Games. And as soon as that happened, they grabbed sticks and beat each other without mercy. Every time somebody was crying or got like poked in the eye or something like that, and it was just without fail, they would be like, "Oh, this is it. This is when we get this game right." But every time somebody was crying, and I don't know, no really point to that, but it was just kind of a random thing that I always had to look forward to.
Well, I never beat anybody with a stick in my childhood.
Well,
So-
you
didn't live.
Maryland softies, I'll tell you.
Ugh.
Back in my day, fun time wasn't over until somebody couldn't feel their arms. So, and it was usually me. But, anyways, I got thrown in a chicken coop once, like a crate that was chicken eggs were in, and I just got like rolled around for half an hour. I was like 8 years old.
Wow, your friends are great.
Well, I was the small one, so you never. I'm PETA to bring it back home.
I
But,
mean, ultimately, spoilers, you end up winning. So
That's true. That's true. Yeah, Cody. First, before we delve into the finale, what are some just overall thoughts on the series?
I really like the series. I've read all the books.
Oh, okay.
Each time I read the book, I would read it in one day. Like
Yeah,
I read
easy
The
reads.
Hunger Games in one day. I read Catching Fire in one day, and I read Mockingjay in one day. Not the same day, but because I'd die. So yeah, I like the series. I remember when I went to go see the first one, my friends had read the book, and they said, "If you want to come with us, you need to read the book."
Nice.
So I spent the
That's
whole
great
day.
peer pressure.
I spent the whole day reading it. Finished it about 2 minutes before the movie started. I still really liked the movie, even though it did skip a lot. But no, I like all those movies. I really do. I think they're really good. It's a good series. It's a strong standalone series that's not
Nice.
Star Wars.
Josh, what about you? First, did you read the books?
I read the first 2 books, and the
Okay.
reason I didn't read the third book is because I really liked the first book, and then I was so excited. I read the second book, and I absolutely hated it.
You hated the second
I
book?
despised the second book. I thought it
Wow.
was boring and dull, and it took forever. It took me 3 months to read it because I couldn't get through it.
Oh, okay. I just thought you were
Different than
really...
my one day.
No, I'm also
Really bad
kind of
reader.
a slow. I'm also kind of a slow reader.
Okay.
So, which is why I now read audiobooks.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I thought you were going to say, oh, well, I also just learned to read, so...
Because to me, until about the last 4 or 5 chapters of Catching Fire, I just couldn't. It was so hard to sit through. So I didn't bother with the third one. So I just hoped I wouldn't get spoiled for when I saw the movie, and I didn't. So that was good.
Cool.
But I thought, and then I went to see the movie. And I really liked the movie. I didn't like it as much as the first book, but I really liked the movie. I had some issues with the development of certain things, but Jennifer Lawrence made that first movie what it was.
Yeah.
I really liked it. And then the second one, Catching Fire. This is what is crazy. The Hunger Games Catching Fire is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Wow.
Yes.
Some
To
big
me,
words.
To me, it's a phenomenal movie to me. Every time I watch it, it gets better and better and better. To me, it's one of those scenarios where it doesn't really work on the page, but it works on the screen because it's much more suited. That's the story. Its story is much more suited for the screen, and it really, really, it was just such a compelling movie to me. I think the ending scene of Catching Fire is one of my favorites in a really long time. It just felt so much bigger than the first movie. It's really epic. I just love. To me, it's definitely the Empire Strikes Back that some will call it of this series.
Absolutely.
And then Mockingjay Part 1. A lot of people did not like Mockingjay Part 1. I really loved Mockingjay Part 1. I thought it was really great. Not as good as Catching Fire, but I think it was better than the first one. I loved it. So
Cool.
So
I have not read the books at all, which I did on purpose because I don't know, I kind of wanted to judge these movies by themselves and on their own, and I was actually very tempted to go back and read the books because kind of like you guys touched upon, I really like the first 2 Hunger Games movies. Even one's like a solid 8.5, close to a 9. Catching Fire is definitely like a 9 out of 10, somewhere along those lines. Those are great movies. Catching Fire might be one of the just most solid over, like, all around blockbusters I've ever seen. Like, it's just, that movie it flows perfectly. Like you said, it's very easily equatable to The Empire Strikes Back. That's just a fantastic movie. And I held off from seeing Mockingjay Part 1 in the theaters because I wanted to get kind of the whole experience. So I watched for the first time a couple nights ago, and then I watched Part 2, and I gotta say, I really hated Mockingjay Part 1 and 2. I hated these freaking movies. I'm gonna count them as, just for the record, I'm just gonna count, these are pretty much one movie. I mean, or at least they should be. And they actually end in a pretty succinct way, so they blend together pretty nicely. But yeah, I was counting down the minutes until Mockingjay Part 2 was over. So there's your hot take for the evening.
okay.
Yeah,
sure thing.
we'll dig into specifics as we go. But I'm assuming you guys are a little higher on it than I am.
Well, just a bit.
Okay, Cody, what about you?
Are we talking specifically Part 2?
Yeah, Part 2.
Part 2, I give it an 8 out of 10. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to say it.
Okay,
I know I screwed up the entire format.
That's
and
fine.
I just realized that, and I'm so sorry.
that's totally okay.
I really enjoyed it. The only reason it lost points was because I feel like they unnecessarily split this movie up.
Yeah,
I think you had the right idea seeing them closer together. Because, tell you the truth, I forgot how part 1 ended when I went and saw the movie.
Well, like, of the 3 things that happened, it ended on a relatively decent note. So
I liked the entire movie. I liked it. I had fun watching that movie. I thought it was serviceable as a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch it again.
Yeah. Josh, thoughts on part 2?
Just like part 1, I loved it.
Okay.
I really did. I think the thing is though, I agree. It shouldn't have been split. Because to me, part 1 and part 2, my main flaws, there's about, I don't know, I'd say like half an hour of stuff you could cut out between the two of them and make one 3-hour movie. So I would have much preferred that and have it been one really fantastic movie, incredible movie, like on level with Catching Fire, as opposed to just, I mean, I still loved both of them, but not as much as I wish I did. But still, I loved it. And it's up from what I hear, it's very similar to the book. It follows the ending of the book pretty
Perfectly.
Closely.
It does.
Yeah. And I heard that the third book maybe isn't a lot of people's favorites. So, but I mean, I like the directions it takes. I think it's the reason, I really like it because it's not your traditional finale. So it doesn't have that, there's not this big battle or anything, which some people seem to be expecting. I don't know.
It's kind of low key, the ending. Just, there's one atrocity and then it's over.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
But I loved it. I thought it was great. It's probably near the tail end of my top 10 of the year right now, to be honest. Barely, but it's there.
Well, since we kind of hit upon it, the few things that were sort of rattling around in my head when I was watching this is, A, how similar it was to Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
In structure, I mean, for reference, can we just as a society say that the line "I never wanted this to happen" or "I never intended this to happen" or whatever, that just needs to not be used anymore? It's like, no shit, you do not want a bunch of people to die.
No
Why
one
would you,
wants this to
Katniss?
happen.
Yeah. Harry Potter got away with it fine because like all these situations were out of his control, and it's Harry Potter and it's better than everything else. But by the time freaking Divergent or Insurgent or whatever throws it in there, it's like, this needs to stop. That line drives me crazy.
I don't mind it as long as if I'm invested in the characters and the story and it earns it, which in this case I think it did.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm fine with it.
But yet the fact that this was one book that like we've been talking about didn't need to be split, but it was, that just, for me, it made the experience of watching it just painful because there was just so much stuff that I said, where did this get us? Why are we here? Why couldn't we have trimmed this up? Like Deathly Hallows, since that's the most, and Twilight are the most obvious comparisons.
It's a brick. It's
huge.
It's a huge book, yeah.
And that's tying together 6 books before it, and it's a humongous story.
The thing with the Harry Potters was, I mean, if you look at 1 through 6, there is a lot of subplots and stuff you can cut and just streamline it. Mm-hmm. Deathly Hallows is one continuous story for about 700 whatever pages.
Right.
You can't just cut and decide what's not worth putting in. You got to find a way to make it work. So.
Yeah. This series had the benefit of A, not having that deep of source material, and B, all the movies came out well after the books had, so they could have mapped this out a lot better. And it just, at the end of the day, I mean, if somebody were to cut together like we said, we're talking about like a 2-hour to 2:20 supercut of Hunger Games Mockingjay, just in general,
movie would be fantastic.
I have no doubt I would be way cooler with it, and I would like this way more if that were the case. But as it stands, this is just, it's overbloated, it's pretty boring at times, and I just, every time that it started to get going, it lost me just as quick, and I just, by the time it was over, I just was done. I wanted to leave. I could have walked out if I really wanted to, because I was just, it did not work for me at all. But anyway,
there's a lot of talking in that movie.
which is
a lot of
totally
talking
cool.
that's unnecessary. We're getting into spoilers now. I'm gonna just say it now. This is the last time I'm gonna say it.
Spoil away.
All that stuff with PETA.
Right.
Like when they send him out into the field for no reason. I don't remember if that's in the book. Maybe it is. It doesn't seem like it would be. Because PETA kind of disappeared in the third book for a good reason. Guy has PTSD. He does not need to be on the front lines.
Right.
But the same point kept coming up over and over again. Why is he here? He could kill us. Oh no, he's crazy again.
And Katniss flip-flopped of like, oh, I trust PETA, and keep him away from me about 6 times.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That should not have been in there.
And now that we've seen the whole thing, I was waiting for Gale to be an interesting character.
He was just a jealous puppy the entire movie.
No, Gale sucks.
Gale sucks. Gale's the worst. Great way to go, Hemsworth. Good job. And honestly, even Jennifer Lawrence started to get on my nerves a little bit.
She got bored, tell you the truth.
I disagree there. I'll never. I always think she's great. So
Well, she was good in the movie. There's no doubt.
Yeah, she's fine.
Owns that character. But there are some scenes when you can tell it's the scenes that weren't in the book too. That she's like, "Why am I saying this? What is happening?
Yeah,
Why are we doing the same scene of me shooting propaganda again?" Just like I get propaganda is important. I just wrote a whole paper on it. But
yeah, you know more than most.
Just. I want that movie to be cut down. I want to see the supercut.
I would love to see a 3-hour cut of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
220, 225 would probably do it even.
Because I think there's a lot of stuff. Personally, because I like a lot more. I think there's definitely stuff that could be cut down, but not nearly as much as I think you're. Because I think I liked some of the stuff you didn't like, probably. So I think one really long, kind of just epic finale cut of this would really do it a lot more service. But even in the stages that it's in, I still loved part 1 and part 2, even though they're not perfect. So
well, that's fine. It's just I just couldn't really get behind it. But let's kind of, I guess, let's delve into some spoilery specifics, I suppose.
I do want to. There's one thing I do want to address about it, which I didn't like, and it was there's about this 20 or so minute segment of the movie, and it's I guess it's towards the middle to going into the third act. Starts once they go into when Gale and Katniss are kind of disguised. And going into the capital. I thought that was a great scene and all that, but and then the big attack was, I thought, fantastic. But there's this part where the explosion happens, and then Prim dies, and then it just kind of starts. All this stuff starts just being thrown at you, and I'm like, what is happening right now? And she's in a bed, and then people are talking about this and what. And
how many times did she wake up in a hospital bed, for God's sake?
And all this stuff's being thrown at you, and I'm like, what is going on? And then after a few minutes, it's kind of like all this stuff kind of, because I think it was, it's not that I didn't get it, it's just I think it could have been handled better. And then there's this other thing because of the Prim death, which really, I'm split on, because on one hand, it's completely glossed over in an instant, but at the same time, they do come back to it later in the movie.
Yeah, I was okay with that, because that is sort of an initial shock, and don't know what Gale had to do with it. That kind of confused me, but her lashing out at the cat was a good scene, even though she had a ton of drool on her face.
That's my favorite scene in the movie.
It was a good scene, but it kind of just came out of nowhere. I know she was distraught, and I know they skipped over all of the scenes where she was actually expressing that she's distraught that Prim is dead. But she's just like doing all this stuff. She's just winning, I guess, at the end.
To me, I loved it because it's kind of like she's holding all this in over all this. She's just getting more and more stuff on her shoulders, and she's holding all this. She just saw her sister die, and she's holding all this in. And then at the end, she just lets it all out. So I really loved that about it.
I can't help but point out the fact that her whole story was started by the fact that she wanted to save her sister. And then her sister kind of got blown up, so Katniss didn't really.
I think that's the big irony of the whole series.
I love it. I
though.
find that interesting, but
I think it's really cool.
It's like all that for nothing. Jeez.
I mean, to me, it's a powerful story. maybe not in a positive way, but it's definitely an interesting story.
Honestly, I'm thinking about this right now. Just what could have been done to kind of make this better. And I feel like if you guys are talking about how the reception to the third book wasn't great,
no, they could have. I think they. I mean,
I think you could have. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just talking crazy now, but I think you could have just reworked the entire story for the third film.
I'm completely fine with all that stuff because I'm gonna say this. I will never ever compare a movie or judge a movie based on how accurately or unaccurately it stays to its book or comic.
Completely separate.
Yeah. So I completely judge it as its own thing. So if they change anything, that's completely. I didn't read the book, so I mean I wouldn't know if they did or didn't. Mm-hmm. But in this case, I mean I personally love the direction it went, but for people that maybe didn't and think it was not the best way to end the series, if you want to because they did that with the final Harry Potter movie.
Yeah.
The big battle is definitely not the way it is in the book. So. Mm-hmm.
But no, what I mean is like just a complete rewrite of the entire thing. Just take what works, the few things that worked from the book, push it aside, and just come up with an entirely new story. I know.
Do that. I know. I
know, a big controversial or whatever, but
I'd be fine with that. It's just I don't read the book, so I don't really. I can't.
Viewing it through the lens of someone who might have written the script, I think it's easier just to adapt the book. Because the book was good. All of its problems stem to it being cut into 2 movies. Every single issue I have with this movie, which it isn't a lot, even though it sounds like I'm crapping on it, I still enjoyed it. I loved watching it. It was fun. It was fun's probably not the correct word to use because that was actually a really dark movie. It's like ending it on The Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
It ends on a down note.
That's kind of what I like because it's very, like I said, it's not a traditional finale. It's very calm. It's very kind of a slow burn. It's very, grim. It's dark. There's really no sense of hope or joy, even when, they have their victory. It's still, they're still in this really crabby, horrible world. And to me, it's a fitting ending. That's why I loved this ending because it felt very fitting to what this series has been leading up to. Because the one part about the ending not that I didn't like it. I actually really liked it. It's just I saw it coming a mile away. When she shoots President Coin.
I mean, I knew that was going to happen. So.
Yeah, I mean, because I was watching, I'm like, I'm pretty sure she's gonna do it. I wonder. Yep, she did it. So,
if I hadn't read the book, the second she said the word Hunger Games, this is Julianne Moore. The second she says Hunger Games, she's screwed.
Yeah,
because she's just like President Snow. There's no.
Yeah,
you're not a good guy at that point.
Yeah, and I really like that kind of story in Mockingjay. The whole thing where they more or less change the antagonist from Snow to Coin while still keeping Snow the main antagonist in a way. I thought that was really interesting. I guess I didn't really get on a lot of positives I had, but again, acting. I think everyone's great in these. Everyone is in these movies are great.
What happened? Hold on. What happened to Haymitch?
He wasn't in it.
That's the stupidest thing ever. He's the. Why would you not put even if you have to shoehorn him in, get Woody Harrelson in this freaking movie?
I don't know. I mean, I thought he served his purpose in this story.
Yeah, man, that killed me. He's the best.
I also love Elizabeth Banks as Effie. She's great. And to me, it's like these last 2 movies. I think it's just maybe those big characters that we've loved are kind of used less. And I get why. I mean, it would probably bother someone, or my just not seeing them as much. But to me, it's just that's what the story requires, then I'm totally fine with them not being there as much. I'll miss them, but it's fine. And again, the action I thought was really great. And to me, it didn't feel like a movie. It felt grittier. It felt more subdued. which is something I feel like a lot of. Maybe I'm just assuming, but it just seems like one of the complaints is like it wasn't grand enough of a finale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was more. It was just because that's what I've been saying. It's just like it was different. It wasn't the type of ending I expected, but I just again I loved it. Yeah. I think I touched on anything I had problems with already, but
Yeah. One thing I just like to point out real quick is the fact that they carved themselves out a really interesting niche with these movies. Kind of their whole gimmick is the fact that there's these games are played, and it's, you know, from all the districts and stuff. And I don't know how they would have kept this going, but like the fact that by this time it just looked a lot too much like the Divergent series. Like everybody's got the guns and they're trying to overthrow the big bad guy, and it went where it went to an easy place instead of a good place. Like, I don't know, it's.
But like, what would you have
I'll
wanted?
stop talking because I'm just.
I don't understand.
Because it's like that's
No,
that's
but
kind
like
of where
it
it's been
just.
going.
What right? But it just the fact of the use of the games was just, and the kind of, you know, the gladiators in the arena, the booby traps, and all that kind of stuff was just such a brilliant, you know, story element that the first two had, like, and the first two books I guess had. So then by the end it just became this sort of it just like I said, it became a bit of a run of the mill, let's overthrow the government kind of thing. And I just I thought that we'd get more of the game stuff with the booby traps and everything like that, but they got glossed over a little bit.
See, I actually didn't really love all that stuff that much.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because in the first, I think to me, another one, small issue, I think the first half of the movie, where most of those kind of booby traps happen, that kind of felt repetitive to me. It kind of just got old fast, and I was like, that's the stuff, if I was cutting this down, that's what I would cut a lot of down.
Yeah.
Because it just kind of like, all right, I get it. They're under attack. They keep running into traps. You know, let's go. Let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah, I don't think there were that many trap scenes in the book. I think there might have been like one or two, including
there was like 4 or 5.
Yeah, not including the sewer, which was by far my favorite sequence in that entire.
That was
movie.
I thought that was a great
fantastic.
Scene.
Yeah. Kind of think real quick of what Harry Potter did, and well, I guess in the writing of the book, the first half was like Hunger Games is. It's very different. They kind of shake things up, so you're not in the school anymore. But by the time the finale rolls around, then you kind of, you know, you bring it back to the beginning, you wrap it up a little nicer. And I was hoping it would do something like that. But
that's fair. I mean, Deathly Hallows Part 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time. So
yeah,
but I mean, I think Deathly Hallows is a much better way to do Part 1 and Part 2 than something like this. But
it's because that book warrants a Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah.
Right. So, any final thoughts before we
one
break
more
down
thing
grades?
I would like to say.
Okay.
I didn't care for the Return of the King ending that it chose to adopt.
Everyone's been talking about that. I don't get it. What do you mean?
Have you seen Return of the King?
Yeah.
I've seen Return of the King.
It ended
how
a million times.
Ends about 5 times when it finally ends with Frodo getting on the boat.
I know that, but like
that movie or The Hunger Games ends about 5 times before finally deciding to end on that picnic scene.
I didn't get that at all. I thought it felt very kind of genuine and just leading up to one ending.
Could have stopped when Katniss killed President Coin. Could have stopped after.
I didn't feel like that was a way to end it. I thought there was another scene
that
coming.
would have been even better if they ended it that way, to tell you the truth. I know that's not how they ended in the book, but I think that's kind of an open ending, and that would have been good if there was a sequel, I think, but
her coming back to the house and then seeing
meeting
Peeta planting the primroses.
See, I loved all that stuff.
That could have ended there.
Yeah.
Like, it's just they kept going and going. I'm like, come on, I want to say I'm done. I felt the same way. I love Lord of the Rings, but I felt the same way during Return of the King.
See, I think in that respect, I think this did that better than Return of the King. But, because I actually think Return of the King should have ended, I think 2 scenes earlier, maybe.
Which one?
The one, there's like 20. One where Aragorn becomes king.
That would have been a good ending.
That's where I think it should have ended, because there's like another 15-20 minutes after that. But anyway, I don't think this went that far. The epilogue scene, I'm still not really sure how I feel about it.
That was a shampoo commercial, honestly.
It just felt kind of awkward.
Yeah.
I don't know. And apparently they shot that like months after shooting everything else. So maybe it felt so kind of out of place in a way.
Yeah,
But
are they just hanging out in a field with their kids? Do
Having a
do they not have
picnic.
friends? Where's Hamish?
He's
I
probably dead. Tell you the
everyone
truth.
else is in the the capital.
Running a new government.
Yeah.
But
So-
yeah,
But he probably died of cirrhosis of the liver. Let's get serious.
It's only like 3 years later. So
What? Wow, quick workers.
3 or 5 years later.
Man, that kid's like 10 years old.
He was like 4.
Well, that's true. I don't know. I just like to see Hamish one last time and Jenna
I lo-
Malone's character, stuff like that. but-
I love Jenna Malone's character in these movies. She was great. And you know what? I didn't even touch on this. Philip Seymour Hoffman. This
I
is
was
his
about to
last
say
movie.
that. Yeah.
I thought I liked him in the last 2 movies. And I thought he was great in this. So
Very obvious the parts where he was supposed to be in and they had to film around. Like, hey, I'm going to read you this letter that Plutarch wrote.
okay, so is that what I didn't actually pick up on any of that.
I'm
I
pretty
was
sure
wondering-
that's what it was.
I was wondering where the stuff that they rewrote for his character was and what was actually supposed to be there. I couldn't really find it apart.
Did they CGI his face at all?
No, they never used CGI to put him in.
Really?
They gave his remaining scenes to other characters.
Smart. That's better. That's better than what they did with Fast and Furious.
Well, Fast and Furious was a different story because they still had like half a movie to film.
I know. I'm just that the CGI is not very good. That's all I'm saying. That scene
True.
at the end of Fast and Furious 7 still almost made me cry. But I could tell that was taken from like Fast and Furious 4.
Kind of good, but I don't know. I bought into it. I was too into the movie to really care. But
If this means anything, the epilogue in the book is set 20 years later, and there's no mention in the plot synopsis that Plutarch shows up very much. So that'd be interesting to find out because that was just maybe I've got the wrong spots, but it just seemed like it's like it was a little obvious that the scenes that he was gonna be in but wasn't. But any last thoughts before we grade this up?
I mean, I loved it. I
I'm
really
just gonna
enjoyed
say
this franchise.
I enjoyed it too. I thought the series as a whole is good. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I
this
can't
is
wait for the
easily-
box set. I'm gonna buy it.
I think this is easily the best of any of these young adult franchises right now, like the post-apocalyptic ones.
Yeah.
Because none of the other ones, I mean, there's like 20 of them, and then there's Divergent and Maze Runner that are owning it right now, but aren't very good.
Somebody's
So,
got to
yeah.
shake it up.
And you know what? It's been a while since I've seen the end of a franchise. The last one I can remember was The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
So that was a lot. It's been a while since I've kind of said goodbye to a franchise. So it was weird but nice, but sad.
Cool. Well, Cody, you're still an 8 out of 10.
You know, the more I keep talking about it, the more I'm a 7.75 out of 10.
Okay, so let's round it down to 7.5. Is that fair?
I guess so.
Cool. Too many decibels. Well, it's the same amount of decibels.
It's
Too
the
many
same.
places.
I get it.
I'm not a good man. at
Okay, 7.5 out of 10.
Cool. Let's see. I'm gonna go 4.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a
Savage.
4. I just don't like. I'm gonna shut up about this, but I just thought this was a bore of a movie. I'm never gonna. I'm gonna watch Hunger Games and Catching Fire many, many, many more times, but I may never watch Mockingjay again unless we do get that supercut. And if any of you find it before me, let me know.
Someone did it with The Hobbit. So
Oh, good.
Oh, can you link
you
that? I
guys-
want to watch
you
that.
guys should check it out. It's 3 hours. It's one movie. It's awesome. Check it
I'm
out.
telling you. If we ever do get that supercut, I will hop on here and I will sing its praises if it's better. But until then, Josh, grade it up.
I'm
bruh.
giving it a 9.
Solid.
I
Wow.
really love this movie. I love this franchise, and I'm sad to see it go. But I think it went out on a very good note. So I'm satisfied.
Yeah, rest in peace, presents. No,
The real hero of this movie.
exactly. Unsung hero. All right, guys, let's move on. So, what has everybody been up to this week? What have you been watching, reading, listening to?
I'll let
Cody?
Josh go first.
Oh, Josh, all right.
All right. I had 2 things, but then I ended up not finishing either.
Nice.
All right. I'll start with this because I'm way more excited about this. I've been reading a book. It's called Lost Stars. It's part of the new Star Wars canon,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's by Claudia Gray. This is a absolutely incredible book. Like, this is one of my new favorite Star Wars stories of all time. Like, I think it's on the level of like stuff in the original trilogy, or Clone Wars, or Rebels, or Knights of the Old Republic games.
Damn,
Like,
that is some. Those are
it's
some big
good.
words.
You have to read it. It is.
What's it about?
I mean, honestly, it's everything Attack of the Clones should have been.
Really?
Because it's a love story. It's basically Romeo and Juliet, but over in Star Wars, over the course of 30 or so years. It starts before A New Hope and ends about 8 years after the Return of the Jedi.
Who's it between? I want to know.
It's two new characters.
Oh, are they going to be?
It's about two characters that join the Imperial, the Imperials. Why am I forgetting the name? Anyway, but one, and ultimately it kind of, there's a shift. I don't want to give away too much, but one of them kind of becomes a rebel, and the other one remains on the Imperial army, and it's a really great story. It's everything I wanted from Anakin and Padme in this kind of torn relationship of romance, and with epic action and all this really great drama. You got to read it if you love Star Wars. You got to read this book. It's incredible. I want to go back to listening to it soon and get it finished because I cannot get enough of this.
How's the narrator?
He's really good.
Do you know what his name is?
I do not know what his name is. He has a really high pitched voice.
Oh.
So, but he does a good job.
Pierce Cravens. I've never heard of him.
This sounds very interesting. Romeo and Juliet, but with Star Wars.
Oh, he's a little baby. He's only 29 years old.
He doesn't sound that old, so yeah.
All right, Cody, what have you been listening to? Watching, reading?
I haven't really been doing anything this week other than writing my paper.
Studying and writing papers.
I've been reading a lot of articles about communist propaganda. I think I'm a communist now.
Well, congratulations.
No, in all seriousness, I've been playing Fallout 4 when I haven't been writing my paper.
Nice.
That's going to be my answer for quite a while. I'm almost certain. The game is so good. Buy it.
Pretty incredible. Pretty incredible.
Especially you, Josh. You should buy it because I know you only have
Yeah, I have Battlefront.
one game for your PlayStation.
Oh my goodness.
Should I don't even know if I asked you. Should I play the other games first, or should I just jump right into it?
Jump in, bro.
Fallout?
Yeah.
I'll just jump into it. They have nothing to do with each other.
All right. Maybe I'll give it a shot.
That's nice. Is it still, do they have fast travel yet?
There's fast travel in the first one. In Fallout 3.
Oh, I did not know that. Cool. Well, guys, real quick, what I've been up to this week, other than catching up on all these movies, I just realized that I bought on CD the soundtrack to Interstellar.
So good.
And I listened to that today, coming home from all the movies and stuff, and I cried. No, I didn't cry, but it's awesome. So if you ever need to get something done, got to pop that in, give it it's great music to get things accomplished too. And
that was one of the many movie soundtracks I listened to while writing my paper this week.
Isn't it just like the most? It inspires you.
It's so good. The organ. There's that one song that has the organ in it.
It's
Yes,
like that really epic
the
thing.
docking scene. Yeah.
Yep.
That whole. I want to watch that movie.
I wasn't
Christopher Nolan Day.
I wasn't huge on Interstellar, but I loved the soundtrack.
That's a 10 out of 10, baby.
I loved Interstellar.
Was it 10 out of 10 for you, Cody?
I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Fair. Josh, what are you, like a 7?
I'm torn because I haven't seen it in like a year.
I think I'm gonna rewatch it too. That's a great movie. But
Murph.
cool guys. Sad to say goodbye to the Hunger Games series, but something tells me we won't be away from it for too long if Lionsgate has their way.
Oh, that prequel's coming. It's
Gotta
coming.
beat this dead horse. Wait, no. We'll stop beating this dead horse when it stops spitting out money.
Would you guys be interested in any?
I would like to
more movies?
see a Haymitch. I want to see his
That
Hunger
would
Games.
be cool. That would be cool.
That or there's some like really cool Hunger Games that they've done in the past. That I watched a video on YouTube today about surviving the Hunger Games on a channel called Film Theory.
Whatever happened to Katniss's dad? Do we know?
He died in the mine.
He died in a mining accident, or whatever they were doing.
That prequel would be very boring.
Yeah. I mean, they show it in the first movie in like a flashback.
Oh, wasn't it that like that scene where she gets stung by
yelling
the
at her mom? Yeah.
Wow, that's that never comes up again. Cool.
Yeah. He's important. He's a man.
He has more of a role in the book that I remember. But yeah.
Well, we'll get it eventually. I have no clue what it's gonna be, but hey, man, as long as this is Lionsgate's thing now, so all right, guys, cool episode. You can follow us at _RealFlix on Twitter. Leave us a review, all that good stuff. Tell us how cool we are, how much we suck. We can take it. And happy Thanksgiving, you guys. Enjoy it, relax, stuff yourself, eat as much as you can.
I will.
I'll do my
because
best.
College. All right, well, take care, you guys. We'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Later.
Are you coming to the tree where I told you to run so we'd both be free? Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Are you coming to the tree where a necklace of hope side by side with me? Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Are you coming to the tree where I told you to run so we'd both be free? Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Are you coming to the tree where they strung up a man, they say we were free? Strange things that happened here, no stranger